Good morning and welcome to The Point for August 4th. It is finally Friday as we get ready for a nice weekend here in Pittsburgh. U.S. futures are climbing higher this morning after yesterday's small pullback as investors are waiting for this morning's big jobs report at 8:30, but we'll get more into that later. Toyota and Mazda have agreed to buy stakes in one another and jointly build a $1.6 billion factory in the U.S. to share costs and investments in new technology. The plant will create about 4,000 jobs as they make their push into the electric market. And Uber continues to face problems after it leased cars prone to fires in Singapore, reported by the Wall Street Journal. They took quick action to fix the problem, although they've also been bogged down by legal and management issues over the past year, including a $20 million suit. The Stoxx Europe 600 index is up small amounts this morning, although RBS confirmed better than expected earnings reports. Their investment bank is up 17% on the year, as their climb helped counter the drop of Swiss Re AG's profits. RBS picked Amsterdam as its post-Brexit trading hub, moving 150 jobs to the city. They need the location to guarantee access to the EU's single market in case London loses passporting rights. Shares were up about 5%. Asian markets were inconsistent, although South Korea gained 0.5% after yesterday's 1.7% decline. Japan fell 0.2%, while Hong Kong and Shanghai remained relatively unchanged, while Australia lost 0.3%. And bonds were varied as 10-year yields rose 1 basis point in the U.S. and Britain, while seeing a small gain in Germany. Crude oil fell to its lowest point in a week as it dropped 0.8% to $48.66 per barrel, as OPEC continues its fight against oil-producing nations in an effort to cut production. And a top oil trader known as God is shutting down his hedge fund after losing almost 30% through June. He came to fame during the global financial crisis when Citigroup revealed he pocketed $100 million strictly from oil trading for the bank. The dollar index was headed for its fourth straight weekly decline as investors are still wary of the murky waters in Washington. And the euro hit a 2.5-year high as it climbed 0.1% to 188 against the dollar, while the British pound also saw a small increase. Today's jobs report is expecting a 180,000 gain in non-farm payrolls after June saw an increase of 222,000. Unemployment is also expected to decline from 4.4% down to 4.3%, as the data will provide clues on whether income gains are enough to keep consumer spending up. And a recent report claims that jobs haven't been this hard to fill since 2000, as many small businesses are having difficulty filling positions due to skill sets, social skills, and drug use. Yesterday saw a report that Special Counsel Robert Mueller is using a federal grand jury in Washington to help his probe into an investigation of Russia's possible interference with the 2016 election. And lastly, billionaire Paul Singer warns that passive investing is going to devour capitalism, as almost $500 billion moved from active to passive investing in the first half of 2017. And just to kick off on that little note about the move from active into passive investing, I think you should definitely take a listen to a recent post on our podcast called The Investment Advisors, where Brad dives deep into this, and he really gives his insight to what this move really means as people move from active into passive. But other than that, we see people continuing to make the push into electric cars, with Toyota and Mazda doing it. We saw BMW making the move yesterday as they were kind of waiting to see what Tesla did. They came out, they surprised people as it looks like they're going to be able to get this mass production done. So companies need to jump on board and make sure that they can compete and don't fall behind. Other than that, markets are kind of really quiet. Futures are up this morning, but last night and early this morning, you saw globally just not a lot of moves going on, because people are mainly waiting for this jobs report to come out at 8:30. They're looking for signs on the U.S. economy, how it's going to pan out, how the incomes are going to look, how the job report is going to look, and mainly for how things are going to shake out in Washington. The dollar has been shaky because Washington is just kind of in an unsure place. So we will going to wait and see for the jobs report, wait for things to pan out in Washington, and then we will pick up from there. Last night, the Pirates took down the Reds 6-0 to move within 5.5 games of first place. They saw strong performances across the board offensively, And Chad Kuhl had a strong outing on the mound with 7 scoreless innings, giving up only 4 hits. Steph Curry shot a 4 over par 74 in the first round of the Web.com tour this week. I think that might have surprised some people. I know it definitely surprised myself. He stands about 4 or 5 shots off the cut line, where he's going to have to shoot about a 65 today probably to make it. And German Thomas Pieters is leading the Bridgestone Invitational after one day at 5 under par, although Jordan Spieth, McIlroy, Jon Rahm, and DJ are all right on his tail. And kind of the big news was Miami Dolphins fear that quarterback Ryan Tannehill is going to need season-ending surgery after falling in practice. I don't know if you saw the video. He was untouched. He just kind of buckled down. I know he had issues with the knee last year. It's not an official report that he will need surgery, but that is the biggest fear. So we'll see what they do, as Colin Kaepernick still remains on the market. And that is it for us today on The Point for Friday, August 4th. And we hope you all have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday.